What did we just read?
Firefighters wear special clothes to stay safe.
Okay. So does that tell you about turnout gear? So is that a detail we could write? Compare and contrast is a very versatile standard. Not only is it addressed in 3 or 4 reading standards in every grade level, but it can be used to teach any other standard as well. For Unit 3 in 2nd grade, the standard that we're focusing on is compare and contrast for literature and compare and contrast for informational text. The performance tests that are assigned in the unit are just like what I taught the kids to do so that they'd be ready for the performance task. In a minute, when I say go, you're going to pick up your chair, turn it towards your partner, sit knees to knees, put it away, and buddy read, okay? You're going to read a page, ask a question. This side of the room is going to start with one afternoon first. Okay, ready, go! Well, I've gained a lot of feedback from teachers expressing their concerns with being able to find pieces of literature to meet these standards, especially the compare-contrast one where they have to be similar stories or similar articles. And so I just wanted to let everybody know that using something out of your anthology and finding little hidden things that are already at your school from 20 years ago is something that I've had to do, and it was something that was relatively easy. So that book one afternoon, I was able to find 7 of them on my school site, and I just had the kids trade books. So, half the group started with Chinatown, and the other half of the group started with One Afternoon. And then as they finished, I just had them switch books. The 2 pieces of text that I chose for comparing informational text were 2 articles on firefighters, and I found those 2 articles on readworks.org. They were both about Lexile 5 or 600, which is grade level appropriate for 2nd grade. And I chose those because we also read a story in the anthology about firefighters. So how I set it up is I had the kids buddy read the story, ask each other comprehension questions so that they'd be prepared to discuss the story. They had little conversations about it.
What is the setting? The setting is the train. What is the setting? A time. Afternoon and city and the street.
And then they filled out a graphic organizer with questions that I chose. So they, with their partner, they figured out who the characters were in the story, what the setting was in the story, problem, solution, and they wrote details from the text onto their graphic organizer. The graphic organizer that I used in this lesson, I got from a gate book that I have, and what it is it's a frame that you put the gate icons on normally. So I just took the gate icons off and substituted it with questions that I wanted the children to find in the stories and be able to compare on a Venn diagram and present to the class. For informational text, I put things like what were some important details, what were some topic sentences, what were some picture captions you found interesting. And so the kids were able to organize the information before they put it on the Venn diagram. Okay, all the information that you need to use is on your graphic organizer, right? So this is what I want. I want specifically the information that you did on your graphic organizer. So I want to know main topic. Compare and contrast weighs pretty heavily in Common Core. Like I said, there's at least 4 standards, 2 for literature and 2 for informational text. But it's all about what you compare contrast. So the rigor involved is what the important part is, and that's where Common Core steps in because it demands that you are way more rigorous in what you compare, as opposed to saying, oh, both stories have girls or both stories have dogs. Now you'll talk about how the character responded to the problem in both stories and the kinds of relationships that characters have in both stories. And so it's thinking about the stories a little bit deeper when you're comparing. Here's what we're going to do now. I am going to choose a name. The person that I choose is going to come up here, put their paper under the Elmo, and read their answer. While that person is reading their answer, what are you going to do? And by listening, we have to... One of the speaking and listening standards for Common Core is being able to present to an audience. And so having them stand up and present and become comfortable with that really helps them when it's time for them to be graded on a rubric for the same standard.
The stories are alike because they both have apartments and they both have a boy in the story. the stories are different because they go to different places and they have a different setting.
Excellent.
These articles are alike because they both talk about turnout gear. These articles are different because they have the different author and they both have the different main topic.
When it came to the informational text portion of the compare-contrast lesson, I thought I was going to have the kids do it the exact same way that I had them do the literature. Turns out it didn't go over so well. The kids weren't able to do as much with the informational text independently as they were with the literature. So they were obviously much more comfortable with the literature than they were with the articles. So I pulled them back and we did a whole group. So what we did is we color-coded all the text features, all of the headings, topic sentences, paragraph details, picture captions, vocabulary words, and we did that whole group. So then they were able to sit down with the graphic organizer with their partner and look at their color-coded article and say, okay, let's write about these different topics that were in the article, or how these articles had different headings, or maybe how they had the same vocab word. And so it was easier for the kids to access information from the article after it was color-coded. This one also talks about something down here that the other article doesn't talk about.
Oh, dude, we don't talk about that.
About what's this?
Fire safety.
Fire safety. Only one article talks about fire safety. The other article doesn't.